welcome. It's Friday on Your View. I am Mariah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me, and today we have Alaja Isabel.
Alaja is back.
The
fast is over.
We have missed you.
Not exactly over.
Yeah.
I shop 10 days.
Okay, that's true. Extra 10 days.
Yes, and then there's the Sita shower. That's the 6 days after Ramadan.
Just 10 days.
Yeah, I'm only 16 days.
Oh.
So if you see me minding my business, I'm happy. I must appreciate the show of love for those who tried to reach me while I was at home. And thank you for my dress. Someone paid Alami to send me 2 dresses for the Eid.
Nice.
And insisted she doesn't want to be disclosed. But don't worry.
You can guess who it is.
No, it wasn't her. And I did my research and I was shocked to see. But I'll find you. And I'm going to say thank you. So I say thank you. And this Ramadan for me was a lot of connection for myself and my kids. I'd love to talk about how to get your children to fall in love with your religion. Following my father's death, I was thinking, if I die, how my children follow? So I sat and I made a deliberate attempt to teach my children about Ramadan. Gufran was able to fast 7 days in total. She fasted more, but she broke in between. But the full days were 7.
Wow.
She did full days.
Full days, yes.
Wow.
7. And then the recitation, I just love that. So I gave them badges. We got that from Alamin as well. I'm just impressed by...
8-year-olds fasted.
Me, the mother did not fast at it.
Yeah,
Me, the mother.
No, but I think it's...
No. She fasted the lowest amongst my father's grandchildren. Nima, my niece, has been fasting since she was 8 as well, and she would push herself. Because the whole family, it was a family affair. But you know, my own side of things, we are busy parents, and
Anyways,
I'm just grateful to God. And then she understands because I made them do presentation. So before tell me why you're fasting, and she did a presentation. I was really impressed, and you know, she's learned. Now she eats well. She's not a picky eater again.
Because she appreciates that there are some people who do not have.
No food goes to waste. Every food is for eating.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. We missed you.
We missed you on the show.
miss you guys
Missed your views. Your views are important.
My troubles.
How are you doing, Tokwe?
I'm good.
We saw your birthday outing and outreach.
Yes, an outreach.
So it's honestly, like when everybody knows, I announced, maybe not everybody knows, I announced on my WhatsApp story and Instagram story that the birthday present I wanted was iPhone 12, and I actually was saving to buy for myself, but the money did not complete. So as I had 2 days to my birthday, I looked at the money I had in my account and I realized it won't buy what I want for myself. But you know, there's a thing that we teach in biblical principles that if you don't have enough for your need, you have enough to be a seed. So I converted what I had into a seed and said, let me go and give those that have need. And I'm so grateful that I called Nima a day before my birthday to say, do you have anybody that can go to trade fair and buy me 100 shoes? This is my budget. And they were able to get 100 shoes within my budget. Thank you. I called T-Smart too. Can we get clothes? This is my budget. It came through, and we were able to distribute and put smiles on people's faces. But I need to put this caveat, slight rant, because when we finished doing the giveaway in Monkey Village, they live in a shanty, and there are like a few hoodlums around, and they came and stopped us from going home. That we needed to give them money before we could go home. And I was like, we came to give. Like, you don't understand what's in my pocket when I came to give. You don't know what was left in my pocket when I came to give. And they insisted that, no, if you have enough to do giveaway, you must settle us too. Until we gave them money, we couldn't leave home. We had to settle the boys there. And it's discouraging for other people to want to go there because they see that they might get harassed by people like that.
It's a Nigerian story. Where
It's a sad Nigerian story.
Settle.
Everybody.
I was really touched by what you did. For me, things like that, just, you know, the touch is a special place in my heart. Nima does the same thing. So, well done, and I pray that God would reward you, and your pockets will be overflowing, and that money that you wanted to use for the iPhone, you will get that iPhone, and you give out iPhone. So well done.
Yeah, the dream is bigger. Right, I've joined your team, Afro hair.
It's beautiful on camera.
VC did this, so how are you doing, Mariah?
I'm doing well. Let me come to Mariam. I
Thank
love
you.
the pair of jeans.
Yes.
You can see it. Love it.
This is funny because this pair of jeans, I've had it for a while. I haven't worn it because I haven't felt it, you know, and today because I didn't have anything to wear, I just thought, okay, let me just for it, and I've been quite surprised with, oh, we like it, so good for the G's.
From me, then.
Good for, no, you. Until the day I wear a hijab, I'll get a compliment from you, don't worry. Anyway, we took the kids out yesterday, my husband and I. We hardly ever do that as a family. I'm always pushing for when we go out to restaurants, let's go with the kids. My husband thinks, oh no, they're a distraction. So I was quite happy that we were able to take the kids out yesterday. We had fun. They had fun.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I just
and
wanted,
you?
I got an invite. I was supposed to go to somebody's house. And I do apologize I couldn't make it. I just wanted to stay on my bed. My house.
Yes, because I caught that bounce I was on my way.
I was going to go out to visit friends and family. When I got home, because my kids were happy that I was home to cook. So I actually cooked. I was cooking in the house, and because after we cooked, we ate.
Just wanted to relax.
I just wanted to just relax in the kids. So I didn't go anywhere. But I won't go today. I'll stop by one or two places today. But yeah, thank God for that. Okay, it's Friday. Let's go to break. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. Lawan Gbajabiamila Adamu, Southern governors wrong. Sultan tells Buhari governors to end insecurity. Experts seek more investment in agriculture for food security. Police station raised, suspects freed in another attack by gunmen. 2.9 million IDPs in Nigeria, says UN agency. And ex-ECOMOG Commander General Dongoyaro dies at 80. All right, let's start with one major headline, please.
Our two first lawmakers at the head of our National Assembly are calling out the governors of the Southwest states. So the governors of the Southwest states had, a Southwest conference, and they, joined voices about their issues, the insecurity and what, they feel was the cause, the unfair treatment, the lack of enforcement of certain ban, and called on the president to take stands. He said he should, address the country, he should ban open grazing across, and they spoke about their problems, expressing themselves. And you think that their own representatives within the law making, because one of the states was Lagos, and Gbajabiamila is from here, and he was representing his people's feelings. But then he's calling out his colleagues that as leaders, this shouldn't be coming from you. Now we've been faced with these issues of insecurity for so long. People giving different theories of why and what is causing it. Some people say unfair appointments. Some people, we expect that there's what is fair and just is obvious. There's no going back and forth about it. It's not one person's call to say it or one person's call not to say it. Once it's the truth is the truth. Take it. It doesn't matter who's saying it.
To be clear, actually, it was the Senate president who said that, listen, what you're asking for the federal government is go and do it within your state. Gbajabiamila actually did not go against it. He was just saying that, listen, we're all part of this mess, and that we should be preaching oneness, which I think also the Southern governors did preach oneness. They said, we're not asking for secession, we're asking that all...
But saying that the restructuring you're asking for, you should start from your state.
That's from Lawan, yes.
And all of that is calling out this leader saying, whatever the problem that you're calling the president to address now, it shouldn't be from your mouth, that kind of thing.
That's what Lawan said, yes. Let's pick another story there.
Yeah, so,
let's take the IDP story. So currently, Nigeria has internally displaced people numbering 2.9 million. And I would like to define that the 2.9 million people are those who they were forced out of their homes by reason of war or crisis. And 2.9 of them within Nigeria have been displaced. And then we also have 70,000 refugees. Refugees, on the other hand, are those that are displaced from outside our country into our country. So not only do we have 2.9 internally displaced, we have 70,000 refugees that are non-Nigerians within our shores. Though this came from the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, who is acknowledging that Nigeria is good and doing well in welcoming other people that are displaced in their own nations, that even rich nations complain about welcoming refugees into Nigeria. So we're getting some things right. And they, of course, need more help from private individuals to support their outreach.
Okay, let's take agriculture, Mariam.
Yes, agriculture. So it's saying that Nigeria may experience soaring food prices beyond this year. Already we know how bad and how high the prices for food is right now, but it's saying that if we do not take deliberate measures towards combating this, the prices will even further skyrocket. And most of the reasons why we have these prices and we're tackling food insecurities because of poor farming activities, lack of access to credit facilities. The national president of All Farmers Association of Nigeria was just talking about how, especially in some of the challenges that we're facing in poultry, some of the poultry farms are closing down. Most of the factories are also closing down. And then we also have maize, soybeans, that we have stopped the importation of it, and it's affecting employment on the whole.
Right.
We have the crisis, the insecurity crisis affecting farming activities as a whole. So unless the interventions by government are geared towards farmers, real farmers themselves, this will cause even further problems.
Let's move on to the Punch. President's plea for understanding. Buhari, ignorant, full of excuses, says PDP, ACF, PANDEP, and others. Protests as customs men kill 5 Salah fund seekers in Oyo. Wife seeks help as Ondo pastors' abductors demand 30 million naira. Rumored Lagos IPOB planned attack meant to cause division, says Ohaneze. Buhari orders mourn as ex-chief of defense staff dies at 80. 3 refineries processed, no crude in January, says NNPC. Restructure your state, stop regional campaign, says Lawan. And NLC backs Nupeng, kicks against petrol subsidy removal.
Yes, so the human interest story, the customs allegedly shot at and killed 5 people who were enjoying Salah yesterday in Oyo State, in Ishayin, local Ishayin of Oyo State. The customs were chasing a car, an SUV, that that was taking like contraband, I think it was rice. They were chasing them, and then they started shooting at them. And they were found just, walking around, and 5 people were hit and killed because of that. It said also, allegedly, that the youths got upset, and they went and they burnt some vehicles, as well as raised some, they burnt some vehicles. But that particular one cannot be ascertained as of the time of this report. But, the royal head of that community is saying that really there's a point in which customs cannot move in when they're carrying out their activities. I think there's a particular distance, 40-kilometer radius to the border, beyond which customs cannot, carry out activities, or else you endanger lives like they have done in this case.
Let's pick 2 more stories before we run out of time. I was going to take the Ohaneze. The President General visited Governor Sanwo-Olu, and he was letting him know that the allegation that IPOB had planned or plans to disrupt activities in Lagos, it was false and divisive, and that nobody should cause any division between the Igbos and the Yorubas in the state. And Lagos has come is a state where everybody feels welcome, and there is no way that he should totally disregard that call. That is totally false, and that they will support him in every way possible as a group. Okay, any other story in Punch?
Yeah, so I want to, it's similar to the story Nima took, but this time it's the restructure your state, stop regional campaign. And that's from Lawan, the Senate president, saying that the calls from the southern governors to restructure the country shouldn't be from them, and that they have authority within their state. And what they are accusing the federal government of could also be said about them within their states. So they should focus on doing what they can within their state and not pointing fingers towards the federal government. Say what you accuse the federal government of might be pointing the same finger towards your state. I believe leaders, especially those who are elected into office, should not be at the forefront of calling for this kind of thing.
I don't understand what he means by that. But
exactly.
Let's go on a break. Unfortunately, we have to run. When we come back, we go through the other front pages. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Let's move on to Daily Sun. Buhari reveals handicap in fighting insurgents. Ohaneze defends IPOB over Lagos attack allegation. North preparing to leave Nigeria, says Ladoja. Government has lost focus on economic revival, says Bauchi governor. Government raised Abia police station, free detainees. Tom senator praised southern governors on open grazing ban. President pledges to boost operational capabilities of NDLEA, hails agency's performance. Okay, which story are we starting with?
I think it's the NDLEA one.
The NDLEA, you have that story, Mariam?
Yes, just the president hailing the work of the NDLEA boss, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, and just saying that this administration is going to do everything also possible to boost the operational capabilities of the NDLEA. I think we're all aware of all the good work that they have been doing. I'm the biggest champion of NDLEA here, so it's
and I think the former governor of Oyo State, Rashidi Ladoja, was saying that, do you think it's only Southwest that is looking for Biafra Republic, or Southwest looking for Yoruba nation, while South is looking for Biafra? That they not too, they're looking for Arewa nation. That everybody is doing it, but just that the southern part is a bit more, they are louder in their own agitation. But according to him, the reason why they are building a highway from Nigeria to Niger is a testament to the fact that they are also planning, you know, all these talks. Sometimes I just try not to take these stories.
Yeah, I deliberately.
I try not to talk those stories, but
I love the part where he said that those chanting the calls for war, I've not seen war. Nobody knew how the war in Syria started, but to today, what Syria is now is not a shadow of itself. Is not a discussion. You know, saying that calling out these divisive things are not the way to go, and insisting that they break a war to get us our secession is not the way to go. I love that part of the...
Okay, moving on now to Daily Trust. Nigerians decry nation's woes as Buhari begs for understanding. Warri Itakpe rail line vandalized as NRC engages communities. Nigeria has gone beyond breakup, says Obaseki. Oyo, 5 killed as custom smugglers engage in gun duel. Okay, let's start with the Obaseki story.
Yeah, so the governor of Edo State is just saying that people calling for breakup and they're just disaffected, or they just want, they're looking for something in particular, and because they cannot get it, they are putting in these words to cause division. But that is not what Nigerians should be looking towards. Instead, we should do things that will bring about peace and unity. We're better together, we're stronger together. Just looking at the headline of this story, at first I was like, what is this saying? It's always good to read beyond the headlines, because Nigeria has gone beyond breakup. Almost seems as if he had said something about the continuous breakup, and that's the only way we can go. So what he was really trying to send, the message he was trying to send, is about unity and working towards that unity, and that's the only way we can prosper.
According to the Daily Trust reporter, Warri Itakpe rail line was vandalized by people. Obviously, they took a saw to it and cut out a portion.
No, all the portions. I saw the video. Like in every interval,
they cut out portions that they took. And this, according to them, happened around kilometer 30 in Adongo area of Kogi State. And the MDC of the Nigerian Railway Corporation has also confirmed this report, saying, but there's an optional route for the rails to take, and that is being utilized presently.
Was it vandalism, or they just want to protest?
When you cut out and you take a part, of course, you know, we see that when, you know, all the roads on Lagos, what they call this covers on the road, they remove it. They go on the bridge.
The manholes,
they
take them out.
And they go on the bridge and they cut out the
video
protection.
I saw in this one, the railways, the tracks are still there, but they just, they cut out.
So
they didn't remove it, but they just cut it throughout the entire stretch.
The report here says it was removed, a part of it, obviously with so. I'm just saying to Nigerians, you see, when we call government and we forget ourselves, we're a problem. If you're in this country and you're a ghost worker, you are worse than government. Right. Yeah. If you're in this country and you do a list and only your own family members, are you not, you know, what's the nepotism that you're doing?
Nigerians.
Are they not worse than what the federal government is
cut the rail and nobody saw them cutting it? Did they cut it at night that the entire community did not hear the noise?
But people would know now.
People would know. So if you see evil and you don't report it, you are part of, you are supporting it, you are an accessory.
Yeah, so if you're accessory.
I remember one time.
Reporting for me,
you won't get
subjects. Whatever you fear, I fear you. But the cutting and selling it, will your family member not be on the train? Because that, they said, would have cost lives if the accident had happened. And you will chop the blood money and you'll be fine.
So the Sultan is joining his voice to asking that Nigeria, begging the president to do everything within their power to curtail the insecurity we're facing. I mean, this is not a new story. Everybody's been saying this for a while. But interestingly, Professor Wole Soyinka also was I think it was at his book launch, his own book that he wrote, and the Chronicles from the Land of the Happiest People on Earth. And obviously, is an ironic type of title saying that we are not the happiest people in the world, but that's how we're perceived because we like to do owambeing and partying. We pretend to be, so we act as if we're all happy.
We don't look like what we have been through, that's all.
So we are pretending to be happy,
not
we are
every part
not
of Nigeria
happy.
is in the partying mood, but all of us are suffering these things. Just manage.
Yes. We are very hopeful people.
Thanks.
Okay, moving on now to Vanguard. Lawan Gbaja blasts Southern governors over call for restructuring. G7 countries commit to fund Boko Haram victims' rehabilitation with £276 million. Insecurity, no to special military operations in Southeast and South-South. Agitation for Yoruba nation may degenerate into war if, says Ladoja. Nigeria diaspora remittances fall by 27.7% in 2020, says World Bank. Buhari others mourn as Dongoyaro, ex-chief of defense staff, dies at 80. Okay, which story are we taking?
I wanted to take the G7. So this one is hopeful story. We must be grateful to God. So the British High Commission in Nigeria disclosed that the G7 are planning to raise about £270 million to help the IDPs prepare, battle the effects of COVID and the effects of climate change, of course, which will lead to famine, and that they're foreseeing famine. This funds is supposed to help the most vulnerable, and they targeted the Northeast as those, who are most vulnerable because of the kind of weather that they have and the kind of environment they also have. I love that, this kind of initiative is strictly, thoroughly monitored. Because we've seen the Safe Schools project, we've seen the interventions in the Northeast due to Boko Haram's effect in the past following the abduction of the Chibok girls and all of that. Those funds just go like that without account. And, we didn't see results. So this one, they should bring it, but let no big man come and get consultancy on it. And
Okay, so I was waiting to take this till the end. So General Dogonyaro has died at the age of 80. He was a former ECOMOG commander and chief of defense staff as well. And he's a prominent man from Plateau State. He died on Wednesday, I think, and his children, his son made the announcement to the public. I'm sure many people have heard during the time of Nigerian military intervened during the Liberia crisis. He was the leader of the military, the ECOMOG as of that time. I also know the children, the older children, that's Joe, I.E., Justina, Naya, and Ibro. My hearts go out to you, commiserate with you today as well. So the Nigerians are also, prominent Nigerians also are commiserating with the family on his death, the president and many other prominent Nigerians. So we have really lost a fine officer and gentleman of the military, yes.
Great. I was going to take this diaspora, so I forgot to read it. Do you have that story?
Yes, I do. The World Bank reported that the remittance of Nigerians in diaspora fell by 27.7% to 16.8 billion in 2020 from 23.24 billion. I was trying to find what the reason for the decline would be, but they are saying that usually Nigerians, about 40% of the remittance were going into subcontinental. That means it's not officially captured, but they feel it's due to the COVID, the inflow, and the inflow is being stopped. The outflow is being stopped from the foreign countries. And so we will have less inflow coming here. I expect that we have a Minister for Foreign Affairs and we have a Finance Minister. This is something that should be a collaborative effort to see how the Foreign Minister can work with, we have bilateral relationship with almost every international country, to see how they can free up the policies there to help Nigerians that want to remit money, get money in here easily.
Okay, so let's move on very quickly now to The Guardian. We'll have to wrap up. Final paper, knocks kudos for Anchor Borrowers scheme in Southwest. You have that story, Nima?
Yes, so I do. 6 years after the Anchor Borrowers program was launched, farmers in the Southwest And the person that spoke on their behalf is the chairman of all Farmers Association of Nigeria in Lagos chapter, said that the distribution has not been balanced, that the program itself was tilted to benefit farmers up north because of the difference in weather. That whenever the dry season, farming season is on, it will be a different climate here. And then funds were not disbursed within associations such that they could benefit. That they were also picking, favored ones to, to give the...
there are many stories out there.
So that has really affected the results. So it's after 6 years, of course, we will not have the result as we have planned, especially down south. And the farm here too as well.
All right, unfortunately, that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, we'll move on to other topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So joining us on the show is the Special Projects Manager, Kellogg's Nigeria, Olabi Adenike. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good to have you on the show. So tell us, what's Kellogg's Nigeria up to these days?
Okay, Kellogg's Nigeria, we just recently launched our new conflicts into the market. We'll be having our official launch actually on Saturday, 15th of May. From 11 a.m. at our factory in LFTZ, that's Ibejuleki. So we just recently reintroduced our conflicts into the market to meet up with the global standard. We are bringing this new standard that would be up to par with what is known globally. So what we have now, it's definitely the best. It has the best taste. It is crunchy. It is very nice.
Interesting. Yes, Dr.
So I want my question was from the fact that, was it based on feedback that led to the relaunch? And what are the added benefits that Kellogg's is bringing to this conflict that makes it better than the rest?
Okay, so for the relaunch, we actually improved our technology. So we just recently introduced a new technology that is going to serve Nigeria better. So, and then one thing, the other question, which was for, sorry, come again, please.
Yes, in terms of what's added to it that makes it better than...
Okay, so we have our corn now is very premium. It's one of the best corns now. It's really premium and it is very nice. So when we toast it, it gives a new improved quality. So that is why it is now very good.
Let's talk about nutritional value of your conflicts. How rich is it nutritional-wise for kids, especially?
Okay, for our conflicts, it has 9 nutritional value. We have from vitamin B to B12. It is actually fortified with essential vitamins and minerals that is good for the kids. So Kellogg's conflicts is actually a very healthy breakfast option for kids. I think in Nigerian homes, we're very used to taking carbohydrates in the morning. Many people are used to taking rice, bread, and tea, all of that in the morning. So this new Kellogg's conflicts is something that having a healthy breakfast is an healthy substitute for kids. So it is better, and I actually think it is smarter to have a good breakfast in the morning, something healthy, something you can be proud of.
Right.
Yeah, so, usually you buy the big box, and kids, they're always wasteful. So do you have them in smaller packages?
Yes, actually have them. We have them in economic pack. Sorry, I have a sample here. Let me just give it. You guys can have.
Oh, wow.
So we have this economic pack in 15 naira sachets. They are currently in the market. They are easy for kids to consume. And then this pack avoids spillage. It is affordable, and it is also the same premium quality, but just in smaller.
How much
Let's
is
do
it?
the economics, I beg. You see, this one and the pack, at the end of the day, you get the same value for each.
Yes.
Because sometimes when you buy, it's lesser compared to when you buy the pack. It lasts longer when you buy the pack, and the kids can enjoy more.
Actually, I think I prefer this one. Because
schools,
the packs, on another 2 days, they finish it. But when I know each child, you get one pack. You can measure it properly.
Yeah, and for me, these ones keep them fresher. Because once you open the big pack, you need to
you have
be
to
careful
seal.
that you properly seal it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's cool. So I know you're opening your new factory in the Bejuleki. Is it open for everybody to attend, or is it, are you launching the factory? What exactly is the event tomorrow about?
Okay, so the event tomorrow is the launch, like the official launch for Kellogg's. We have some credible personalities that will be in attendance. We have people coming in, people that have been reviewing the conflicts. But one more thing is, because we can't have everybody, of course, and we know all our lovers of Kellogg's, we definitely want to be present and watch us. So we are going to be streaming this event live on our Instagram and also on our Facebook. It will be streamed live so people can join and see us as we introduce our world #1 cereal. That's what we call it, actually.
World #1
World's
cereal.
#1 cereal.
Nice, cool. So, are you having like a brand ambassador, or are you going to be unveiling the person tomorrow, or what's the plan, or you don't know it's on TV?
Yes, we have our brand ambassador that is going to be unveiled tomorrow, but it's secret information, so I won't release it now.
Okay, all right, so
till then,
We should look out.
yes.
Oh, great. Cool.
Is there,
All right. Is there anything
other
else you
information
would
that
like to
you'd
tell
like
us
to
about
share?
Kellogg's?
Okay, for Kellogg's, I would like to add that Kellogg's is really in the Nigerian market. We want Nigerians to be assured and to be proud to have us in this market. So we constantly want people to embrace us in their household, develop a breakfast culture in their homes, because breakfast is key for us. So, and Kellogg's is serving this perfectly well. So please, let's Nigerians come together and let's celebrate Kellogg's.
Fantastic. All right, cool. I tested it. It's really crunchy. And I like it because I don't like my cornflakes soggy. I like it really nice and crunchy. So that crunchiness is sustained towards the end of it, and I love it. So well done. All right, let's go on a break. When we come back, move on to our hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So, this tweet went viral last week, and we just refrained from talking about it. You know, we wanted it to brew a bit. So, we've heard people's opinion, but we'd like to hear the viewers of your views on this matter. So, Pastor Paul Adefarasin went viral last weekend when he asked that Nigerians should get a plan B. Of course, many people went for him. How can a man of God say that? Is it right for you to be preaching that people should have a plan B, or should people actually be preaching about hope? I don't want to focus on the bashing about religious leaders. That's not the objective of this conversation, because I think they've had in their own version of bashing enough. But I think the conversation the ladies of Your View and I would like to have is, should we indeed get a plan B? Is that the reality? Especially because many have plan Bs, but they're not saying it. It's because Pastor Paul is the one that spoke it. So suddenly everybody is now attacking him. But we know almost everybody, especially in his position and other positions, have plan Bs. So as we, the real citizens, I mean, the real Nigerians, the 99.9% of the masses, should we get a plan B? That's the conversation. You can call us on 091-390-76-948. You can also call us on 081-270-53687. You can tweet us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. All right, so who would like to go first?
Is it 200 million people that are going to find a plan B? What country will be able to accommodate this plan B that we're talking about? I know it sounds right, and the people that can afford a plan B are the elites. The people that can afford a plan B are the middle to upper class. But the majority of our population that are living below the poverty line, or even living barely above the poverty line, are over 100 million. Where would they go to?
But let me add, before you continue, just to remind you, he wasn't talking to the whole of Nigeria. Because maybe he understands that we all can't afford it. He He was talking to his people who possibly can afford it, a plan B. So it's not the message to... We're just bringing it out, saying, okay, to other Nigerians who may not be able to afford it, what plan B could they have? But let's be very clear that he wasn't speaking to you and I.
So for me, I think my biggest problem, and the biggest problem of this country, is that many of those that can change this country have plan Bs. And as long as there's a plan B, you know there's an opportunity and there's an option. The solution to this country lies in the fact that we have no option, we have to make it work. We have no option, this must work. When anybody tells me about breaking up this country, I say, where will my children go to? Their mother is Yoruba, their father is Edo. Where would other people that are married across north to the south go to? This has to work because we don't have an option. But when you have option B, and as long as our leaders have option B, as long as they have private jets and they have second passport and they have third passport and they have national citizenship, they would always not take the situation here with the level of seriousness that it deserves. There's no option.
So, let me come to you, Mariam, before I come to Nima.
Okay, so for me, this plan B, the fact that the pastor spoke about it, a lot of people came for him. But I think that plan B is actually the Nigerian way. We have leaders who, when they fall ill, they have a plan B to use hospitals outside our country. If they didn't have a plan B, if the hospitals in Nigeria were the only hospitals that they could use, they will put in all that is needed to make sure that those hospitals work and are at the same standard internationally, so they would not need to travel. We use plan B to do our roads, our railway. We use plan B to fund our schools. We use plan B for aid, and that is our problem. We need to put plan B aside if we want the country to work as a whole. Now, if you're talking of an individual who is using plan B, I can understand how if you put in the money, put your money and your resources aside as a person that does not affect the country as a whole, and you put that plan B into work, it can work for it's your, what would I say? That's your reward for being able to get the money together, wanting to get something better for yourself. But if we have to talk about Nigeria, we have to look at the big picture as Nigerians. I think plan B should be put aside. Plan A should be the only plan. Yes, the only plan should be making Nigeria work, and then there will be no need to talk about plan B.
Let me come to Nima. Your thoughts on this?
I have thoughts running. But he was talking to everybody. He wasn't talking
he said,
no, he was talking
he said, I'm talking to my people. He said it very clearly. He defined it to please.
So there's a level, I studied law. We do what they call interpretation of laws, and we have different methods. We use literary, we use any mischief rule and all the rules. And in the rule that I chose to use, he said to the people there, even if it's by Okada, and even if your option is limited to Ghana, he's not talking to the people there.
The people there then.
Wait now, the people there, those people can raise a flight ticket. Where you don't have the option of flight ticket.
Okada.
Okada to Ghana, Cameroon, those kind of options saying, whatever you do, this is a failed something. Plan B. It's the culture of plan B that got Nigeria to where it is today. The Nigerian young students that were trained in Nigeria or sent abroad to be trained to come back and develop home that never returned. It's the option of plan B that killed us. The Nigerian that, would stay here and look at the universities and say, this university is the UK education that is the British standard that is good for my family. The culture of plan B has been with us forever. And it is why we are where we are. It is not bad leadership alone. It is our mentality. It is the people chastising him. Let me know if we go there. These same people. I'm not talking about the people in governance or government or the circle of elites and all of that. These same people will not wear their shebi if it did not land from the plan B. They will not wear an adire. One of the reasons I stuck to a particular network is because that particular network the owner of it could have afforded the richest of laces when his mother passed. But he chose the Ankara fabric. People don't know what to look out for and the things to appreciate in people anymore. We always appreciate a plan B. Even we had an institute of vaccination that, that could create vaccines. We killed it. And now we depend on the country that its vaccine cannot even avail it anymore. And we are not vaccinating our people.
So there was something I learned, from the Indian story, because I think I read somewhere, I can't remember exactly, somebody was saying that a country can only develop as much as the elites are willing to actually invest in it. Because the truth is that if the elites says, you know what, we don't have a plan B, and this is all we've got, there will be development. There are many millions of Nigerians abroad that have used that, they want to come home. But unfortunately, because those who are home are not making a conducive environment for them to come home. So people who are home was also creating that conducive environment are already looking at outside as a plan B. So those people outside can't even come in. So the truth is, those people, now my question is, those of us, people like me, let me define people like me. We have young children, not those that our children are already abroad. Mommy and daddy are here, parents, the kids are people that have young, under 13. That's my category. Number 2, we don't have visas. We don't have second passports. We don't have anywhere else to go. That is who we are talking to. Where do we go? So where's our plan B?
So Mariah, to sort of like put what Pastor Paul said into context, we had the primate on the show on Monday, and he was saying that we shouldn't blame the pastors that the pastors are human beings. They are human beings who've poured into their congregation, who've set up businesses, who've seen people's lives. They've seen people die. They have congregation members who get to the hospital, and the hospital did not have oxygen. They have congregation members who a botched surgery led to the loss of their life. They have members in their church whose entire livelihood got burnt during the EndSARS, and there's no compensation. So they are human beings. Yes, they are pastors, but they are human beings feeling the burnt of the pain of Nigeria and feeling the pain of, is this the only option why am I in this place? And while we look up to them and think that you should give us hope, sometimes they are also looking up to God to find the hope. So I see tweets referring to a man of God, disrespectful, insulting, and I'm like, what kind of human beings are this? That you've gone to the point where you cannot understand where the person is coming from. Like, we've seen men of God as gods. They are not gods, they are human beings. And they feel the pain. And if they vent, it's allowed.
To add to that, this is a pastor that has actually supported good governance. He has been speaking pro this country since I've known Pastor Paul. Aside from me, I don't want us to use him as a subject, because there are many other people saying almost the same thing in different ways. And many people have plan Bs. The point is that many men of God in this country, and even imams, many of them have been preaching hope for years and decades. They've been asking, they've been encouraging people, they've even invited governments to their churches. Come, what are you doing? We're going to do this. You know? So they've played their part. But we've gotten to that brink where they're thinking, okay, these people are not serious. He said that they're just a bunch of, again, I don't want to use the words on TV, that he doesn't trust this is the entire lot. Maybe it's time for us to start looking at plan B, because they're exasperated, they're also tired.
So it reminds me also, it reminds me also, see, in the Bible, prophets gave plan Bs from God to a selected few. So when Jesus was born and Herod was looking to kill him, Mary and Joseph were given plan B to go to Egypt and stay for the few years of his life so that he can avoid killing. When God was going to destroy the earth, Noah was asked to build a boat, and only those that were chosen, the animals and people that were chosen, got in there. So there is the spiritual side, which may be that God has spoken to him to speak to his chosen people or his chosen congregation about a plan B. So there's that side. So when you are talking about pastors, but if it was someone in government that came out and said this, for me, it would have been, how dare you speak that way? But when it comes to imams and people in church and pastors like that, I always tend to say, I always, no, they don't sell. They are supposed to preach what the Holy Spirit tells them to talk about. So sometimes, even in the Bible times, we hear how prophets were castigated by the people at the time for the message that was sent to them because they didn't understand it. And then years to come, they'll be like, okay, this is what God has sent. But as a Nigerian today, and for anyone who is in government today, the only plan that we have is to make this country work. The continuous message on divisiveness, the secession, the disintegration, it makes no sense. This is the only country that we have. It has to work. It will be good to have pastors, imams, everyone, hands on deck to make this work. But spiritually, from the Holy Ghost, I cannot determine what God is. Yes.
I mean, they are frustrated, they are human beings, so they can be frustrated.
I was going to talk about those who are constantly having the conversation of the war. Painfully, every time I put my head out of my community to just say hi to somebody, I'm in that conversation of what must happen, we need it. There's so much marginalization. We must go to war. I sat on Sunday with a young soldier on his break. He's on training right now in Ojo Barracks. And he's just come back from Yobe in the war. And the stories are so gory. And somebody who has not seen bullets fly, somebody that cannot keep foul, mosquito safe, and see the blood, and is the one shouting, war, war, war. I wonder, I always say to them, I have gory images of the Syria when they were trying to escape the war in Syria, people drowning, trying to cross over to Italy, mothers looking at their child being taken from them, mothers having to throw their child in the ocean. Such goriness, such consequence of this war that you are shouting, war, 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 to the extent somebody would sit down and look at an elite sell the divisive war and say, okay, let me give my people a plan B option. Because a plan A option is to have that difficult conversation that the governors are attempting to have today and insist on certain things deliberately that this would give our people dignity. And have that difficult conversation. Nigeria is one of the countries in Africa that didn't get its independence by war. So why is it difficult for us now to get our acts together, amend our constitution that will make everybody inclusively involved in this country and feel not marginalized? Why is it difficult for us to have that conversation?
I don't think, let me come here for a second. I don't think he's been divisive. I don't think...
I didn't say that about him.
Okay, good.
I said... People who call for reform, give people like him the option to give their people options to have a plan B.
Okay.
Because you constantly... she's referring to the people clamoring for war, and the noise of war is so loud, he had to start giving his congregation options of plan B.
Okay.
I want to beg Nigerians, because, you know, at the point where we are, both those local and those abroad, we need to start valuing what we have. And we don't have... This is the only country we have. If we don't value what we have, we will lose it. What you don't appreciate will depreciate. We've seen this country as something, it's always there. It would always be there. But now we're looking, people can't travel to their hometowns anymore with peace of mind. You know, we used to be able to travel to our hometowns and know that we have a village there. But now everybody is stuck in the cities and everybody is looking out their windows. We need to start appreciating our oneness, and our leaders need to... I was very, very displeased with the messages I read from both our the Senate President and the House of Assembly members. And I'm like, this is not... If we cannot speak with one voice on how we want this country to go, then we're not ready. That's why we hear people saying plan B. So our leaders need to speak with one voice and preach the hope. Even when a pastor gets tired of preaching hope, you should know that the situation is critical.
Let's not lie. You see, it's because one person said it. That's why we're now going at him. Yeah. Everybody is discussing plan B in their house.
The person that said it.
I have said it to you that in my own house, I have asked my husband, bros, how are we going to do this matter? Maybe we should start finding somewhere in Ghana. I have discussed it, yes. Let us not pretend like we're not all thinking somewhere
already living it.
So, yes. So let's not just use one person and say, he said. We are all doing it. I had that conversation with my own husband. Let us start finding somewhere in Ghana. So just in case we hear we can rush to Ghana. That's the truth. Let's go to break.
Ghana not hear you and close their border.
We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still talking about Plan B, and I want us to go away from the pastor and focus on if Nigerians are truly talking about it, and if it's important for us not to have a Plan B so that we can all focus. Because it's one thing to say the masses are saying, I don't have Plan B, but what if the leaders who are supposed to be having those difficult conversations you talked about earlier have Plan Bs? So they're not taking those conversations seriously because, listen, my family, my children are abroad. I'm just here with you. If anything happens to me, I know my children are safe. So where does the Plan B come? What role does Plan B play? And I'd like to take a few tweets before we continue with this conversation.
Truth be told, what's actually working in Nigeria? The government refuses to tackle kidnapping, banditry. Nobody is safe. If Plan B is option, me, I go jackpot. Black magic says hey, sis, you all really need to have a plan B. Our leaders have sinned, and you know what comes with it. Without shedding of blood, no atonement for sin. Rostone says, I support Tokba and Alaja on this. There should be no plan B when it comes to Nigeria. I think Adefarasin is young, and whatever he's saying is in the flesh. If he was a genuine man of God, that should not come from his mouth.
Idowu Aboaba says, even the churches have plan B. That is why they all have branches abroad. And then Rolake says, it is sarcastic when people in diaspora are condemning plan B. Some families have people outside the country supporting them with funds, while others are suffering to get a job here. We're all hypocritical. Let's practice what we preach.
I think it's a selfish mentality. A plan B is a selfish mentality. It's the same mentality our leaders have that they crippled our educational system. Our universities that were world class in those days, they deliberately
Plan B now.
It's plan B. It's a selfish mentality. All of them, including the person talking, has a selfish mentality. Because if you think of those days when the plan B was the option after the Civil War, parents' plan B was go back to the village, not leave the country. Parents' plan B was have a village home. If it happens because you're in the city, you go to the village. You go and start farming. You go and, nobody wanted to destroy the country. But the way it is now, let's go. If they finally throw bomb, let the country just destroy. This is our heritage. This is what we can tell our children. This is what we can call our own. Wherever we go, we have a story of a multicultural, personality in the countries that we go. We don't think these things deeply. I personally remember discussing with my husband about a university option for our daughter when she grows up. And I was saying to him, I said, my prayer is that by the time she's ready for school, all this problem would have vanished. Nigeria would have, and he was just looking at me strangely. Do you think it will go? But that's how I think. I kneel down every day and ask God, let it get better. I don't think of options, even though I'm of the class where I can start an education trust fund for her and hope that she ends up in somebody else's country. Yeah. I think if she grows up, how proud of her heritage.
Especially Zakimboyewa's tweet, I like this. It says, there's no country that's immune to problems. We need to fix our country. Just look at what they're going through in India. There was a time people were queuing up for food in the UK, but look at the UK today. Yeah. So if we work together,
Mariam, I think we've hit the nail on the head with the medical issue. If all our leaders had no plan B for their medical treatment, we would have better hospitals. If all our leaders had no plan B for educational system, we would have better schools. So the plan B option makes us feel like there's an escape. That's number one. Number two, when a group of Southern leaders come together and offer what they feel will be an option to keep us together, and a group of other leaders say, no, go and first do the restructuring in your state, don't bring it.
Even though you have a limiting constitution.
So I feel that there is a level of, we are not speaking with one mouth concerning how we want this country to grow. Yeah. And that way, the citizens don't feel the need to say, I trust this system, because those who handle the system also are trusting something abroad. Our president just came back from medical trip, so obviously.
See, I've shared this story before. I was in school, there were two guys that actually helped me in chemistry back in the US, two Indian boys, very smart, intelligent. They were like the head of the study groups. They were very smart. And they were studying and telling me that when they're done, they're going back to India. When I did another course, another Indian girl, her name was Prima. Herself, she's like, wait, I'm done, I'm going back to, because she had that mentality of, I'm not here for a plan B. I'm going back home. Like, I'm only here to get the education and then go back home. So it's still that plan B mentality that even when you travel abroad, you choose to stay with, you know what, I can't go and stress myself in Nigeria. I'd rather stay here. I cannot come and die because
it's convenient.
And you can't totally blame them because they also have children. But is that thin line for patriotism or also having
taking
of the children?
Then our media is also hyping this insecurity and instability a whole lot, because if you read the US isn't better off. There are shootings every day. There are gun battles. Random person will just wake up and take a gun and say the person is depressed, and then they shoot, and there are killings every day. The Indians are fighting their own. The UK is fighting their knife crisis.
There's no help anywhere.
So it's come back here and let's make this work. Because if they shut their borders during COVID, we had many airlines sadly lose their lives because they couldn't go there to access medical care. So if you make here work, if anything we've learned from COVID is the fact that our president was here throughout. No matter the health crisis, he had to stay here. They did not take him there. But when COVID escaped, he went back for it. We need to ensure that here works, because this is where you're own. You can fight for your rights here. Come and fight here. Don't fight for the rights of people. Black lives matters there, but make your Nigerian lives matter here.
Imagine just living in your own house. Imagine you live in your house with your husband and your children. And then, as a wife, you have a plan B. So you have another house that you go to. There's no way you can put your all in this house that you share with your family.
We're talking like this because our children haven't reached that stage where we need to take them to the US.
No, I get...
We're at that stage where our kids are still growing up. But we might not talk like this. When your child needs to get into university and they're waiting because there's a strike, and you have an option to say, you know what, I can get you to Canada, I can get you to the US. Would you not let your child suffer 2-3 years because they're striking, because some minister of education haven't been able to resolve with ASU? So let us be realistic. Let us be realistic.
No,
we're not blaming those who are taking plan B. I want us to be sure. We're not blaming those who are taking, but you see, it's their reality.
All of us have no choice. If we all sit at home, if all of us sit at home, I'm saying from the president's children to the pauper's children, all of us sit at home for 2 years, you will see that we'll make the education sector work. But as long as somebody can go to university in Ghana or one in
so that's what has caused the problem, because we have chosen, some people are more equal than others. So you put a ban and say there's no traveling for health, but this person can't travel for it. You put a ban, your children cannot go abroad to school if you work in government. But then you find someone who is able to go behind your back. So when there's no justice, there's no peace. When there's no justice, people will find different ways to also get make a plan for them to get what they feel that they are not the benefits of getting benefits from there. So when we decide, as Tokwe has said, when we decide that everyone hands on deck, we're not going anywhere, it will work.
So I'm not calling you out on this, but when we say our children, let's just remember, it's somebody's child who turned 18 and they called him mature and sent him to Burma, and he was killed. And they didn't inform his family 8 months after he has died. His colleagues knew he was dead, and they'll come home and they'll tell the family he's greeting you, because it's the nature of the Nigerian army not to disclose until the Nigerian army officially discloses to family members. It is somebody's child who is a victim of that system that you deliberately destroyed. When you hold on to a mother's pension and she cannot afford to take her own child to the UK where your child is, that person too is a human being. I think we're just a bunch of selfish people.
And that's the problem.
We want this bright future for our children, and we look at our neighbors and say, it's a selfish mentality. It's destructive, for God's sake. I don't understand it. You're the head of a battalion. You hold on to their money. You hold on to the money for arms. You hold on to everything. It takes you time to appropriate money for them to buy the weapons that they need to bring peace to the country or get justice for the people whose lives have been destroyed, or free abducted girls. And then you sit somewhere and you have an option. You went to Dubai, you bought land. You built house to roof level. And you take your family on private jet to that place, and you think you will have peace. You're sitting on blood money. You will definitely not have peace. If you get it, your children will not have it. It's not a cause, it's a circle.
Let's take that in for a second.
Yes, so
powerful stuff. Let's say Comfort. Thanks for calling. Are you there?
Hi, Murayo.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Murayo, congratulations with the good job you're doing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
Very clearly. Go ahead, please.
Murayo, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
I've been trying to reach you, only God knows since when. Well done job with your team. You guys are doing wonderfully well.
Thank you, madam.
Every day, I suspend whatever I'm doing just to make sure I follow up with your view till the end.
Thank you very much.
You guys are doing well.
Thank you, ma'am.
And congratulations to the birthday girls, the 2 birthday ladies. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hello?
Comfort.
Oh, okay. Sorry, thank you very much, Madam Comfort, for that. Yeah, so, we see, I think I hear Nima. No matter how we want to paint this in a nice, flowery way, the truth is, we are all selfish.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
that's the truth.
That's the truth. And when we start to confront this part of us,
And we call it what it
and
is.
call it what it is, and say, listen, let us refrain ourselves from taking that option, and then focus on the plan A as a country. Maybe we can begin to fix this problem. Mariam.
Yeah, and that, when we take our children out, as you say, because we're trying to protect them, some of them have gone abroad and they've come back home. because for some reason, they feel that they can come back home, they want to do better when they come home, they want to make the place better, and then they come and meet the place that you were running away from. And they will now have to face the problems that you have faced. But if maybe we had all worked together, we left our children here, they would have done something, created something, made something, be part of government that will make it better for the next generation. I got a video, my auntie sent me a video yesterday, and it was about, someone was talking to parents about children and giving birth to children at such a time as this. Many parents, I don't know, me especially, I always worry about the world that we're raising our children in. Every day you wake up, they're kidnapping children from school. When I'm looking for school for my children, I have to also look at the fact that is it in a safe place, you know, no proper health care and things like that. And it says that God did not make a mistake. He gave birth to children for such a time as this. The children that you have now were born for such a time as this. Moses was a child that was born for a time as he was born, for the time he was born. Everyone, Solomon, David, they were born for the time that they found themselves, and they made a difference. Your child will make a difference in the country that he has been born into. So when we look at that and put our greed and our selfishness aside, we'll definitely...
Let me take this call from Bank. He's been holding for a while. Bank, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Mariah.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
I say good morning to all the ladies in the house. Yeah, I would like to start this way. The statement from Pastor Adefarasin, I would like to start this way. He that has ears, let him hear what the Spirit is saying. That man is a pastor. Now, the lady in white, I guess her name is Obiageli.
No, Miriam.
Oh, Miriam, sorry. She already said something I wanted to say. This man is not a politician. This man has a rich background. This man has been a pastor, and he does not interfere or intervene in the affairs of the country just anyhow. So, if he is now telling us that we should have a plan B, we should be sensitive to what he's saying. Let me quickly say this, Mariah, please. Your dad, of blessed memory, Baba Alawa Kabashonu, of blessed memory, these are people that saw that this country is going into the mud. Your dad sent you abroad to go to school and had to beg you to come back. Because your dad knew from intuition that the country is not going in the right direction, but your dad will not tell you. And when you came back, I stand to be corrected, Morayo. You would have been of the thought right now as I'm speaking that maybe I shouldn't have come back, if not for my dad that begged me to come back. So I want us to be realistic. I can understand your positions there. You guys are OAPs, on-air personalities. So there, you know, you have restrictions. You have your views. You share your views. You want to be careful.
Thank you very much, Banky, for sharing your contribution to this conversation. The truth is, I mean, listen, we've all faced that situation where he's right. My father asked me to come back home. He was really very convincing. Told me that, Mariah, you have to come back to Nigeria. And when I was coming home, everybody abroad said, Mariah, you don't have your American passport. Don't go yet. Do the thing first before you go. And I kept saying, no, I'm going back to my country. I'm going to go back. I remember when I got to the airport, my brother said, Mariah, you're in GFK. Oh, board. You've not boarded. You can still change your mind. Tickets, we can always find the money back. Stay. Get your plan B. That's the green passport before you go to Nigeria. Don't go there and get stuck. And I said, no, I'm going home because Daddy told me that I must go back home. Now, I won't lie. There were times when I was from why did I do this? Why did I not just at least get my passport first? So at least I can run away. But unfortunately, I didn't. And I'm here. Yeah, so there are days where I have that frustration. But we still preach hope. That let this decision not bite me. Let my family still, let us still live from this country.
But you see, the thing is, when we that's why I'm happy that Nima took us to let's call a spade. It would have been a selfish move because we will not have your view and we will not have the number of lives that this show has touched. So if you were there, you won't have this. And this is almost 8 years of this show and the millions of lives and the millions of marriages and the millions of children who now bear Murayo, whose parents had no idea what Murayo was until they saw somebody on TV called Murayo. Sometimes it would feel like a wrong decision. But as long as we are following, you know, there's a man that came on the show and said there are laws of nature. You know, there are laws of nature. If you do good, it will come back to you. If you are wicked, you will reap the wickedness. So we've had wicked leaders, and they have made us start thinking that wickedness is a good thing to do because we are seeing wickedness as being profitable to them. But what they've done is wickedness. Destroying our educational sector is wickedness. And even if they have escaped this, that they are able to go abroad and get good health care, their children have accidents and they are able to fly them to Germany for health care, and other children are here and they die from accidents on the main road, does not mean what they are doing is right.
Yes.
So we must not begin to look at what is wrong and begin to say, am I being a fool for doing what is right? You are not a fool. We are not fools for doing what is right.
Fantastic. Oof. I didn't realize this conversation was going to go this way.
Yeah.
Let's take 1 second, Nima. I'll take a call, then come to you. Bisola, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. You're live.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show,
Bisola.
Yeah, good to see you, Mariah, my darling wife.
Yes, go ahead,
Yeah,
Bisola.
I can hear you very well.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. On this matter, honestly, the way, let us face reality. Presently on my table now, I am reading. I said presently now, I'm on my table, reading on my laptop. What are we talking about? Because I want to have my own plan B. My own plan B is to leave this country. I can't go going to work, coming back from work is something else in this country. You can't live with your two eyes being closed. So we should not leave everything aside. Everybody should have their own plan B. Irrespective whether you are comfortable in this country or you are not comfortable, you just have to have your own plan B.
Thank you very much, Bisola.
I'm not against migration. For reasons that, economic, financial, whatever reasons that you have to migrate, you might have to migrate. What I am against is destroying home to go to another person's compound. We constantly take decisions in our various official capacities, in our various administrative capacities, as Nigerians within our homes, take decisions that continue to be anti-Nigerian, continue to destroy the Nigerian dream, only to dream somebody else's dream. To be a second-class citizen for us is better than to build this dream, you know, that would make us... look at the history of countries that have been divided over the years. They continue to be divided. The USSR is a clear example, but the US is about 50-something states, if I'm not wrong, 55 or 54 states, strong in their differences. And we'd like to go there, but we cannot build a multi-ethnic, what do they call it? Multi-ethnic, multi-language, all of that country here, and we destroy it. Every man thinks local. They just love. It's good to be a proud Isaka woman, but don't destroy the Nigerian dream just to be an Isaka woman. That's not the right thing to do. And I listened to David Undeyi on one Twitter live while I was on the break, and they were talking about the 200 million possible refugees scattered all over the world. And you as a Nigerian, okay, you've gone, you've escaped. How would you sleep seeing your brother turn, maybe someone you knew, in the Somali example of the vice president, begging for bread on the street, we becoming like a Syrian, and somebody calls the example that,
that will not be our
a plan. No, but that's, if we continue to kill the Nigerian dream for a plan B, a plan B could also be, this is not working. This is a plan B for this to work.
Yes.
Why is it a plan B to destroy? Everybody should just destroy, call for war, break it, scatter it, and let all of us be going.
That will not be our plan. We have to wrap up on this. Unfortunately, I have to wrap up. But do you have any tweets I can run off very quickly? Yes, I'm sure we have lots of tweets. Let me just take a few tweets and we'll run off. Mariam?
Yes, we have, leaving this country to a sane one is hope. This is Unu Amume that has just said that. Honorable Ademola Alalade says, whether you're abroad or at home, we all want Nigeria to be a better place for us all. But when you have leaders who don't care about the progress of the country, then what option is left for you? The ordinary Nigerian is suffering, and this is definitely not right.
Maja says, it is not selfish calling me out. It's called survival. Looking at the context of Nigeria, you have complained forever about trucks problem in your area. What have been done? It's a very dangerous situation. It's like sitting on a time bomb. I didn't live. I constantly sit here calling out the government till the positive change. The little that I see every day, I live within it till I will see it better. I don't lack the means to live. So don't misunderstand it. And Dio says, how long, please? All the shouting, clamoring for better Nigeria, what has it produced? Look at the NSAS struggle. Look at struggle to finish school. Look at struggle to get justice for him. Okay. How much more injustices has to happen before people seek better lives?
Unfortunately, that's all we can say. We can't take any more on this.
There's so many
thank you, ladies. There's so many tweets. We have our celebrity guests in the building. We have to move on. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So Fridays, you know, we have celebrity guests. So our guest today is born as a Liberian, and is a celebrity guest. He's a very famous Ghanaian actor, model, producer, director, philanthropist. Please welcome with us Gregory Frank Atas in the building.
Welcome to the show.
Good to have you on the show.
Thank
so
you
really
very
are a
much.
fully Liberian man. But you have worked in Gollywood, Nollywood, all the wood. You have which is how is that how they got in
So Liberia also has a wood. We call that labor wood. Labor, like LIBERWO.
Labor wood.
Labor wood, fantastic.
Yeah, that's
So I've worked in labor wood, Gollywood, Nollywood.
Oh, really? So it's really in Hollywood.
Yeah. So how? I mean, I know you moved to Nigeria in 2009, and how has it been, the acceptability in Nollywood? We've seen you in movies with Mr. Johnson. We've seen you in movies with quite a big actors. How has it been working in Nigeria?
I think it's been awesome. The actors, producers, directors, technocrats, they made me feel like it's no difference of me being in Liberia or in Nigeria. So the kind of atmospheres that come around with it, it shows that Nigeria, Liberia, they have some inter-working relationships because the people themselves are just cool with me.
Yeah.
So nobody made me feel like I'm an Azkaska or I'm a Liberian.
So we really would love to just gist with you, but you know that before we brought you in, we were discussing a very, very serious topic.
Yeah.
And we know that Liberia had series of crises, like full-blown war, and Nigerians had to go there. One of the things that made Nigerians really popular worldwide was the fact that ECOMOG, Nigerians,
the big brothers to Liberia,
were able to intervene and all of that. Well, you were there then.
Yeah.
And what was your experience like? Because we see some people on Twitter and Instagram saying we should separate and all of that. Let us fight. Let us go our ways. What would you say concerning those clamoring for division?
What was the effect of ECOMOG?
I don't think that Nigeria will want to experience that. That shouldn't be an option. There shouldn't be a plan B for that. Because we've experienced terrible wars and situations in our country, and we're still trying to patch out our differences and put our house in order. So that plan B, I like what one of you said. It happened to me directly. Let our leaders don't make us to look as if we are wicked or we're doing the good thing wrongly. So I've traveled to Ghana, I traveled to Nigeria, I went to America, and then I met a couple of guys who tried to give me a green card, like you said, a green book or passport. I rejected, and then when I got back to Liberia, someone was like, you should have gotten your green book. Why didn't you get it? You should have gotten it by now. You've been out of here in Liberia. So I'm telling myself that it's not a wrong thing that I did. It's not a wrong thing that I did. I think I'm trying to come back to my community, give my communities, contribute and do the right thing I can do, and see how we can
Make it work.
put our pieces together. So the option couldn't be division. It can never be division. If that's going to work for you, Nigeria is about almost 200 million persons.
Yeah.
So maybe some of you will come live in Liberia.
Yeah. So I like the fact that so you're Liberian, you've worked in Ghana, and you're working in Nigeria, and you know, we'd like to see that relationship, that seamless, almost seamless relationship between countries within Africa.
Yeah.
So we're building an entertainment industry. What do you think you've learned coming from Liberia, what you've learned in Ghana, what we can infuse in Nollywood?
Basically, when it comes to the entertainment industry, I think Nollywood is the mother of industries in Africa. So Nollywood is the third largest industry in the world. So I can't compare Nollywood to even Gollywood or Labourwood. Those are smaller industries that are trying to do the best. Like some of us who came to Nollywood, we learned both directing, acting. I did not go to school for it, but I watched people doing these stuffs, and I decided to follow suit. So I had to go back to my country, like Liberia, and see how I can adapt those kind of attitudes in the film industry that is in Nigeria.
So you're part of the growth in Liberia right now?
Yeah, I was the president of the film industry for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
So I resigned. I mean, not resigned, but I turned power. My turning got elapsed. My turning got expired, and I turned power over to the next person. And my period of leadership was the first peaceful transitional process that we ever had. Because people who believed in me, people who also know that coming to Nollywood taught me a lot. And so it can't be compared. Right. Nollywood is just...
So Frank, what would you say is your own best selling point? Because you mentioned now that you're an actor, but you didn't study acting. What would you say is your best selling point? And what would you advise a person to look at in themselves, even though they didn't study something and you know, think or, you know, push or fight for the dream to become an actor and really, you know, sell themselves? What would be that experience?
The thing about the film industry is that everybody who comes in first will always want to be an actor. It's very rare to hear people say, oh, I came in to do costumes, I came to do props. Everybody wants to be an actor. So for me, I'll tell you that I'm still learning in the process. So I wouldn't say I have any best points at a point in time. I'm still learning. So if I'm in Nollywood, I'm an actor. Maybe if I'm a director or producer, it has to be in Liberia, where we don't have much experienced persons and people to carry on.
I know you're married with three children.
Yeah.
These 3 girls?
No, 2 girls and a boy.
2 girls and a boy. Now, tell me, how is it being with family, especially as an actor, traveling all over the world? You know, how do you play that role as a father? Are you there? Are you able to manage both roles?
That's hectic. You know, it's been tedious over the years, especially when you have to do the work you have to do to put the food on the tables.
True.
So sometimes we have to travel to other places and go there for 6-7 months.
Wow.
Work, leaving your family home, I think is tedious. So you have to have a very strong wife.
No, I'm happy you wear your wedding ring, because if you don't say you're married, the regular assumption would be that you're single. So how do you...
I've been married July 2nd would make me 10 years.
Oh, wow. So you've kept it together.
10 years. And I've been 17 years, with like 17 years in total together.
Wow.
10 years of marriage.
Wow. So she's a girl of your youth, or married the woman of your youth.
Yeah. She's Liberian as well.
Yeah, she's Liberian as well.
Interesting.
So we met ourselves in the 20s, now in my 40s.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah, so apart from your acting, it says you have an NGO and you work specifically to talk about child mortality. You helped during the Ebola crisis. Could you give us a little more about that?
Basically, in 2015, I started going back to Liberia after I you know, came to Nollywood and, you know, I got the fame. I started going back to give back to communities, because if you come and just stay, you have to be able to do something back home. So as we started doing that, we started doing movies. We opened a foundation. At the time, the Ebola crisis came up. We had some, we built a low place for kids that we can have missing kids until, yes, they were all over the place. We had to take care of them until after everything subsided. Then the parents, family, relatives came up for the kids and started taking them gradually. So with that, we established the Artist Frank Foundation. And since 2015, we always give out donations to people going to slum communities, into the rural areas. Liberia, since 1990, the children in Liberia, they don't know what a Santa Claus is.
Wow.
So I normally dress in my Santa Claus suit and go to those rural areas, and then the what do you call it? Those radio stations and other places will say, Frank Artus is here, Frank Artus is here. So they're all looking for Frank Artus. And then I come out in the Santa Claus stuff. And then when I take it, I'm like, So sometimes we have like almost 5,000-6,000 children.
Wow.
Yeah.
I must commend you for that.
So are you like really famous in Liberia? Are you like Michael Jackson in Liberia?
No, I'm not like Michael Jackson, but at least I'm like Joshua.
Oh,
that close.
Wow. Really famous.
Oh, wow. Well, I wanted to go into, you, apart from being a philanthropist and an actor, you also do business.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's been always issues of don't do business in inter-country business, ECOWAS, all of that. What would you say your experience has been? Where's your business domicile? Do you do business in Nigeria or in Ghana or in Liberia? And how have you been running things?
Truthfully speaking, I have a production studio that I'm working on doing filming, and I have the marketing outlet of it. I also have a diamond crate. I don't like to say this, but I have it. So my grandfather had it, and then he passed on, and the family couldn't maintain it, so I just took it. So basically, I deal into that, my diamond business. And what
Interesting. He brought his voice down.
So it's like the Nigerians saying they own an oil well.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to be, what are you working on right now that you like Nigerians to know about? What
Okay, so because I've been, sorry to cut you off. So because I've been off the scene for approximately 5 years, I've not come to Nigeria.
Okay.
I want to come back now and do some other stuff here. So I called a couple of my friends, producers, and what have you. I hope, hopefully next week we'll start some projects in Nigeria. But I think I will start with the East. Maybe Asaba, go somewhere.
You know,
You know West Africa. I wanted to know, because you just mentioned now that you've been off the radar for about 5 years. Why did you leave? And is there truly marginalization of sort in Nollywood amongst foreign actors? Because at the time, some Ghanaian actress made such claims, and people were there was just this gist around how they were treated. How do you feel when producers call on you for scripts? Do you feel some sort of
like they appreciate
what would I call it?
For me,
preferential treatment.
For me, it's a natural thing. If actors in Nollywood will not just in totality rhymes with other actors that come from outside, it's a natural thing, because this is my space, this is my place, and you have come to take it. So it's a natural thing to feel otherwise of the person. But for me, I've not encountered that. That's no one has ever one day in Nollywood said anything negative to me as to what.
Wow.
Nobody.
So who are your Nigerian best friends? We know them.
I got my PAs, my publicists, principal. I have in the film industry.
Who are your people?
Who are your peeps?
Who are your peeps?
Mike is alright.
Okay.
What's his name? Mercy Johnson.
Oh, okay.
Those are my guys, and Angela Okori.
So I want to ask this question. Who's one female Nigerian actress that you'd love to work with? one, like the female you've been looking at, like,
Don't be
He's a married man.
I know he's married, but you know, somebody
Ask about a man.
You like her acting skills, and you like to be on
In
the same, not romantic, same movie with.
In the same movie with?
Yes.
For me, all the actors are good.
So you will not just give us one.
Should I ask your husband that kind of question?
Is not watching. Your wife is not watching. You can.
Should I ask your husband? Should I ask your husband that kind of question? Is there some woman in the tech industry?
No, she can admire. He can admire the acting skills. He might say that, oh, I've seen this person's acting. Maybe I like Jennifer's acting. I want to act in a movie.
I think not so much of the acting, but I think I like this girl called, I don't know her full name, Omoni. She has four twin boys.
Yeah.
I like the family style and everything.
What you like about her?
She's
her family.
The cuteness. She's beautiful, and she has big children and a husband, and she doesn't look it. Yeah, that's how I like it. I like her. I watched a couple of films too.
What Nigerian movies are like favorites in Liberia? Do you know? Actors, movie actors.
A lot of them, even the new ones that are coming out. A lot of them. Every Nigerian movie
that
has
brings
been shot
me,
is there.
That answer brings me back to what we were talking about before, about Plan Bs and all that, because it's important that the way people see Nollywood, they see Nollywood is a big deal for Africans. And I think Nigerians should be proud of this is what we have built.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people ought to understand that there's gold in this nation called Nigeria. The Lebanese, I'm told, are constantly looking for naturalization. They are making millions.
They want to become citizens.
They want to become Nigerian citizens. These are people that, so there's a lot of gold. And maybe if we begin to see how appreciated we are, even West Africa and across Africa, it makes you understand that there's so much to dig out of his country.
And you just said it right. Because the good thing about it, I don't know why we all citizens are like that. When I'm in Liberia, I want to leave Liberia because I feel Liberia is Ghanaians will do the same thing, Nigerians will do the same thing. But always learn to appreciate what you have at the moment. Because there are people outside who really want to be in that spot. So maybe I could have gone other countries. Why am I here? Because I really want to visit Nigeria. It feels good to be back in Nigeria. True. So I think you should just appreciate what you have now and try to make the best use out of whatever situation. Because everywhere you go in Africa, there has to be some situation.
So something saddens me. If you look at the world, the most migrated people, the most educated migrated people in these world powers that we call are Nigerians. Even in medicine, the vaccine, the Johnson & Johnson one was a Nigerian who researched, one of them. So, but when we look home and we just look at it and say, this thing is a failed thing, it breaks my heart that, something that can work to the extent,
We're happy to hear what you have to say concerning that. Going back to Liberia, though, are you going to dabble into politics? Because when people get popular, we had the case of Judge Ware, and do you see yourself going into the political terrain and saying, I want to even change what's going on here?
Obviously.
Really?
Wow. Obviously.
Wow, nice.
Obviously. It's something I'm looking towards in the next 2023.
Oh, really? That soon?
2023, I'm going. I'll go.
What would you like to run for?
I don't know what you call it here, but in Liberia, we call it a representative. A representative per district. So that's where we're going to start from, because there are three basic representative, senator, then presidency. So that's where the three branches of government is.
In leadership, what would you like to change? I know Liberia is, a tough country, but what image of Liberia do you desire that, that is pushing you to seek this leadership position?
One of the things of African leaders that I don't understand is that there's so many things that could be given by just mandate. It doesn't require money. It doesn't require hard work. It doesn't require push. All right? This like in Liberia of recent, we were fighting piracy. So we tried as much as possible to minimize the film, trying to protect Nigerians' intellectual rights. So if a Nigerian should have that sort of film here in Nollywood, and the film has not even gone to cinemas, and then it's in Liberia and the Liberian market, I think it exploits come. So I'm telling the government what we need to put in place is just give a mandate.
Mandate.
Give that mandate and say, I don't want to see all these films here except you have the right to them, because there's intellectual properties laws. So those laws will tell you you don't sell or infringe on any other man's intellectual rights except you have the legit doc for it. So some of these things could be. So if I'm president tomorrow, I'm head or whatever tomorrow, I think I will look at some of those little issues that impact the lives of people. Because there are simple things. You don't have to build the tallest of buildings. But look at the commoners, the common children in the rural areas that don't even have slippers to wear.
Let's take a few tweets as we run off, because we have to wrap up right now. But Mariam, you have any tweets for us?
Well, we still have tweets from the last topic.
Go ahead.
The average, Rolake says, the average councillor in Nigeria already settled for a plan B. In fact, most lawmakers relocate their children abroad permanently for the fear of the unknown, which they cause self-centered. Nigerians are becoming smarter. And then Tajuddin Mohammed says, most of the elites refuse to come out and participate in political culture of the country. They're refusing to offer solutions to solve our problems. When we leave sensitive decisions to be taken by power-drunk, selfish, or war-mongering politicians, then we're asking for it.
Let me take this comment. Somebody said that the loudest voices on Twitter are from people who are living in Plan B.
They're already there.
They're already there. And the gullible Nigerians who don't have a Plan B will be cheering them on. So those of us that are screaming, many people Nigerians living in the diaspora, you're screaming from the comfortable place of Canada and US. And you're saying, yes, they're bad leaders, they're shouting. Those of you that don't have Plan B,
you are now here.
Yes, they're retweeting and posting, they're all bad. But the person that is instigating it is very comfortable, it's safe.
Let me take this.
So we need to be very careful,
Anambra Ginny Naime says, this is selfish of Nima. To spill this nonsense this morning, she knows Nigeria is a dead pool. Our leaders are simply refuse to repair this country. She had the nerve to preach to people who want to leave. There are no options left except perhaps to fight. This is so selfish of Nima. You, who are probably sitting somewhere, ask me, who live this day to day. I breathe this air day to day.
Stay in traffic.
I put my kids through it. I survive it every day. I call for better options for people I don't know personally. Hoping that when the better options come, the generations to come will be availed of such better options. You call me selfish? Maybe you should look in the mirror.
That's what I said. Nima, let me add to that what Nima just said. Because people have been asking Nima to leave her neighborhood.
Yes.
She can afford to leave her neighborhood, but she chose to stay there. But you know what? Because I can leave.
Does it change anything?
Because there are people around me that cannot leave. So if me and Nima leave, I will not leave them. I'm being selfish. So she's making that sacrifice to stay in that neighborhood until it's fixed.
But because we've always seen, we've seen so many people do bad things, that people that are doing the right things are now seen as strange.
And that's what Frank also said, where they see you doing the right thing and they make it wrong. That's what we're doing. The people who are doing right are seen as the ones who are doing the wrong thing.
We have to run, unfortunately. Thank you very much, Fan for joining us. Any last words you want to tell your fans that love your movies and what they should be expecting? We know in the next few years you say you're going to be working on something in Nigeria. Any other thing we should be looking out for?
Basically, let me say thanks to all the beautiful ladies here first for having me here.
Thank you.
And my publicists, Prince Paul, Chelsea's, and the rest of the team that have brought me here. I really like the forum and the opportunity. To my fans out there, all I have to say is that watch out, and I'm back.
All right. Welcome back. Okay, that's all we can take on the show this week. We'll see you on Monday. Bye for now.
Thank you.